Hey guys, it's Natalie Skabinski and welcome to my YouTube channel. This video is going to be on how to use the STEMScopes program within Schoology and a few little tips and tricks in the STEMScopes program as well. So STEMScopes is what we use in Texas. We use the TEKS, those are our standards in Texas. So if you use this outside of Texas, you'll have your different standards to choose from and everything, but we obviously use the Texas version. So first and foremost, this is my dashboard here for STEMScopes. Now, for me to test this out, to assign something to a student, I have to have students. I don't have anything right now. I don't have classes or students, but I can make test classes and put a student in there. So I use my son, Aaron, because he is in the same district as me, and so I can use him to practice on. And if you have a child, use that as well, or ask a friend, can I use your child? So anyway, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I need to set up a class right in here. So I'm going to go to students and I'm going to add a section. Teacher is already there, that's my name, and I'm just going to do science practice class. Okay, and I don't need to fill anything else out here. This is just practice. So I'm going to create this section. Now this is my class. Go straight to where I can add students. So now I'm going to find students. And over here on the right, you can search for your student's name. Just click enter after you search. Okay, and then over here's the add button. I'm going to add him to my course. Now I can go back to my science practice class, and there he is right there, and you can see that there's no assignments that are assigned to him at all. So now I need to go in and I need to go in STEMScopes and assign him whatever I'm going to put into Schoology for him to do as well, because it has to be assigned in STEMScopes as well as Schoology before it's uploaded to Schoology. Okay, so I'm going to go to my home. And if you use STEMScopes, I highly recommend you bookmarking all of your standards that you use throughout the year so that I don't have to go through scopes and search them or anything like that. So I have bookmarked all of the scopes that we use throughout the year, so I can just click it here, okay? But if you haven't done that, I'll show you. Let's go to scopes, and this is how I find my activities that I want to assign to Aaron. Okay, so then I'm going to go down to grades. 5th grade is my grade, so whatever grade, and you want the streamlined TEKS. Those are the newer TEKS that were set up a few years ago. Then I'm just going to go down to circuits and electricity. It's my favorite thing to teach in science. Okay, then I'm going to find whatever I want to assign to him. So we like to do a lot of the reading sciences. So let's see, here's a reading science A. Click on that and then just click assign to students over on the right. Up here I'm going to click the section. That's the only section I have, the only class I have right there. And then to personalized learning, once you get into your classes, you can assign to individual students if you need to, specific little things, or entire sections as well. You can put a start date, a due date. We're just playing around with this. You don't have to do that now. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to assign this to Aaron. Okay. All right, so that's the one that I'm assigning to him. That's the one I want him to do in Schoology. So now I'm going to go to my Schoology practice course. I just have some fun stuff in here. I made sure whenever I went over to members on the left side that I had added Aaron as a member of my course. He is now a student in my course. Okay, so if you're practicing with a student, make sure they're added to your STEMScopes course and your practice course wherever you're doing your practice in. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my materials page here, and I'm going to add materials. This is where I'm going to see STEMScopes. Now, STEMScopes is an app that is connected to Schoology. So our district pays for STEMScopes. Now, if your district does not pay for it, you have your own version of it, then you need to add the app to it. If you don't have your own version and your district doesn't use it as well, it's a great resource for science, so maybe reach out to your science specialist on that. But if you don't have the app, yet your district has access to STEMScopes, go up here where these 4 squares are and click on that. These are your apps. Now, I do not have access to add apps because our district won't let us. Our district adds apps for us. So there would be an add apps here if your district doesn't add the apps already. If your district does and there's not an add apps, you're going to have to reach out to your district about STEMScopes. Okay? So then once you have the app, you can add materials, go to STEMScopes, and it's going to bring up your scopes, your dashboard for STEMScopes. Now right here it shows all the way from kindergarten, it's going to go all the way through. So I'm just going to search for the specific standard, which is 5.6b, and then click enter. Now it comes up with 3 different options. This one on the right are the old standards before they streamlined them a few years ago. This one in the middle are your reteaks. We like to use those for reteach and retest after students don't master something, so we kind of save that. This would be where you can really individualize your students' learning. If you have a few that didn't master the subject, you can use some of these materials, assign them to them in STEMScopes, and then put them in Schoology and individually assign them to the students that need them. Now here on the left is where we're going to find our reading science. So I just clicked on that and I'm going to go down, and it was reading science A that I used. So I click on that and then just submit item. Now it's going to show up as an external tool here, that's what that's called, in my practice course. So I can see it, any students can see it. In here I didn't individually assign it to anybody. Anybody in my section in STEMScopes would see it. So it's assigned in STEMScopes, it's assigned in Schoology. When I click on it as a teacher, I'm going to see it how I would see it in STEMScopes. I'm going to see my reading science, and then I'm going to see the questions with all the answers as well. Okay, your students will not see this. If you don't want to see the answers, there's a button up here on the teacher toolbar that hides your answers. And then you go down, you can't see them. Okay, and then you can unhide them. All right, now if I want to see this as a student, as Aaron, I'm going to go down over to course options on the left, view course as, and I want to see it as Aaron. Okay, now let me go down here, and here's the activity for him. See, he doesn't have a hide the answers button because he doesn't have the answers. See, if you look down, he has the reading that he has to read, and then he has all the questions that he needs to answer. Now, one thing that's going wrong with Schoology and STEMScopes right now is it's missing a submit button, which is extremely important for your students to submit their work, because once they submit it, you go back into STEMScopes, you can see what they've done, but at least they can do it all in Schoology. I've talked to my district, and they are working with STEMScopes and Schoology to fix that problem, because that particular thing is not working at the moment, but it should be, so that shouldn't, you know, stray us away from using this if it's going to be working in the future. So if they want to see it in the screen, they're good. If they want to make it bigger, you can click these 4 green arrows up on the right, makes it a little bigger for your students to see. Click it back down. There you go. Now, the nice thing about STEMScopes is that made for teachers by teachers, so they know what we need as teachers. Okay, so over here in on the toolbar, as you go down, that toolbar stays there. And on top here, if a student you see is like looking close to the screen and you're like, oh no, you need to make that bigger. Well, they can click on this and they can make the font bigger so they can see it better. So that's one good tool that has. Now the next tool here is for your oral administration students, those that get to hear your lessons. So if you click on that, you don't have to go around and read it to them. It shows a start, stop, reading this text button up here before every section. So even up here there's one when they don't really need to read that part, but then down here before every question as well there's one. So when I push play, it's going to play. You're not going to hear it on my screen though, because Screencast-O-Matic doesn't have that, but I can hear it right now. Then they can stop it. They can also pause, rewind, all of that. So it's super helpful for those that need it. Okay, then there are highlight. You can highlight things. So if I need to highlight something, I'm just going to highlight it here. Go up. I'm going to highlight it with whatever color I want to highlight. Okay, then also right here is a dictionary button. If I don't know what something means, like a current, I don't know what that means, I clicked on that dictionary button. I'm going to click on the word current. And then my students can get a definition of it, and then they can also hear the definition of it as well. All right. Okay, and then this is commenting on different sections, and they can print as well. So some might want to print it at home during distance learning, possibly. So in the future too, there will be a submit button when they're done with the questions, and then you'll go back into STEMScopes, go back to your home page, your dashboard. Oh, let me go back to STEMScopes here. There we go. It'll go to my dashboard. Okay, and then under here, student activity, you're going to see once they submitted it, and you can go in, you can check it, you can make sure it's all good, and it'll grade it for you as well. Okay, so I hope that helped you guys, you science teachers out there that use STEMScopes, and want them to stay in Schoology and not have to go back and forth to different screens. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys.